And now I would just ask you to
Mm.
arrive in the place where you're sitting and really, first of all, feel that physical space, feel the ground under your feet, feel on the ground, the chair, feel how gravity is, how the earth is holding you, pulling you, supporting you. And allow yourself to really sink into that, this support. And maybe let any
Mm.
surplus tension flow into the ground from your body. Allow yourself to become heavy and relaxed. And if you happen to be too heavy, if you feel yourself too heavy and maybe tired and without much energy, then you allow yourself to feel this other current that always bubbles up inside our bodies, that is makes you curious, makes you upright, makes you want to learn new things and explore new things. So it's like bubbles, like champagne bubbles in your body going upwards. So there's always these two energies, the gravity sinking down, holding you, and the bubbling life energy bubbling up, making you upright and curious and awake. And see that there's some kind of balance of these two energies in your body and mind. And then become aware of this virtual room where the two of us are together, mingling. And then maybe also other people later on listening to this recording. Maybe you can get a sense of the future listeners that are not in this room in time, but might enter this room later. And first of all, you prepare yourself by seeing everything you experience as dreamlike, like the experiences in a dream. They are just things that I become aware of inside myself and outside. And they're very much colored by my awareness, by my mood, by my perceptions, my abilities. And then don't look so much at the content of your mind, but look at the mind itself as much as you can. Look at consciousness, perception. Don't try to name it, don't try to grasp it, just become aware of it gently, openly. In the old text it says, examine the nature of unborn awareness. Awareness that is always there, that is not born, does not die, does not start or end, but is just there continuously. And come to rest in that, in the ground of being. And from this place, which is the resting in absolute bodhicitta, the absolute mind of enlightenment, then you begin the practice of taking and sending, starting always with yourself. If you're aware at this moment of any unpleasant feelings, any unrest or tightness, contraction in yourself, breathe it in, accept it, open yourself to it, allow it to fill you up. And with the out breath, send yourself white light, ease like fresh, clean air, loving energy, healing energy. And with the next in-breath, maybe you become aware of something that maybe today got you upset or sad or angry. Or maybe that you became aware of specific people or other beings that are suffering right at this moment. Or maybe desperate. Maybe something you saw somewhere on the internet, or maybe somebody you spoke to. And really allow this feeling to touch you and really take it in. You can also visualize it in form of a black liquid or a black vapor, black smoke that is coming into you, that you're breathing in, but not, it's transparent, it's dreamlike, so it's not choking you, but you really feel the unpleasantness of it, and you really allow it to touch you. Also, if it's unpleasant feelings of other people, suffering of other people, or other beings, animals, or maybe Gaia, it might be larger beings, entities, where you're feeling the suffering, feeling the sadness or desperation or other unpleasant feelings, fear. And always feel it, let it in with the in-breath, and breathe out white, clear, bright lightness, love, healing, energy. And imagine that this really has an effect, that really there is a cleansing happening, that maybe the person that you visualized, or the group of people, or the entity, is becoming more and more calm, less and less dark and suffering, and more calm and happy and peaceful. Feel that this wish to take away their suffering really has an effect, really takes place, that you can take the suffering away, and that you can share your happiness, share your clarity, share your openness and your love with them, so that they really feel it, that it really makes them feel better, gives them space to breathe more easily, to maybe have some ideas of how to deal differently with their situation, to feel less hopeless. And you can also let yourself move on to other objects. Maybe you become aware of other people or other situations, not in the long distant past, but maybe something that's happening right now, or something that's happened to you today and that moved you very much. And really take it all in. Take in everything that's unpleasant, like a black vapor. And breathe out everything that is good and wide and beautiful inside of you, or inside of the endless source of all blessings that is in you and at the same time has no place, no specific place. It's everywhere. And you breathe that out and share it with as many suffering beings as you can imagine, as you can encompass. And allow yourself for this process to become wider and more universal. But also allow it to be specific. Maybe think specifically of all the people that are right now, or all the people and maybe also animals that are right now suffering from illness, maybe from the coronavirus or related diseases. And also all people who are suffering because of maybe their economic situation due to the crisis has become difficult. They don't know how to feed themselves, how to earn their livelihood, or maybe feed their families. And take in their worry and their desperation. And breathe out any feelings of calm, of ability to cope, of ability to adjust and find some way, some other way to live. Then also think of all the people who are, all the nurses, all the doctors, all the care workers, all the people who are looking after those who are sick, who are infected, who are suffering. And maybe also the politicians, the people who are in charge, who have to somehow make decisions and find a way to deal with the crisis, trying to get information and maybe not knowing who to trust, not knowing what to do, being torn apart by doubts and angry attacks, but being forced to make decisions, make difficult decisions, becoming aware that they've made wrong decisions. Maybe particularly think of politicians, or maybe the pharmacy lobby, or people that you don't like, people that you don't agree with. And try to imagine their state of mind. Try to imagine what they're going through. That they're also maybe driven by fear, by greed, by maybe a certain sense of knowing what is right, knowing what is good for others, or maybe taking advantage of what is bad for others, for their own good, thinking that this is good. Take all that in as much as you can and breathe out clarity, breathe out compassion, breathe out love, breathe out the ability to really see what is true, what is trustworthy, what really works for others and for the world and for the universe. And really imagine how through this process, through this practice, the confusion and the anger and the the difficulty that is created everywhere in the world right now through this crisis with all its aspects is lessened, is somehow clarified, is somehow transformed into fuel for growth, for development, for compassion, for the wish to help each other, for the wish to become helpful for the others, to make a contribution also for the world, for Gaia, for the biosphere. And feel that this exercise is really having effect, is giving you strength, is giving you clarity and the ability to really act in positive ways without getting angry, without getting desperate. Or any anger, any desperation is turned into even more strength, into even more ideas and skills to really make a difference for the better. Yeah, and then allow this visualization of the relative taking in suffering and giving out happiness to come, slowly wind down and return to the ground of beings, to your nature of the mind, which is unborn, undying, changeless. And then return to your present body, your present individual self, with its feelings, its thoughts. Maybe notice the difference. Notice the difference from the beginning of the session. Oh, maybe there isn't one. And then I'm going to turn my video back on. Maybe you would like to as well. I'm also still going to say a few words for the reflection of today before we maybe exchange. Yeah. So the reflection of today is when all the world is filled with evil, transform adversity into the path of enlightenment. So this is especially for times like now, or very often, but times like now where the world is filled with evil, with a virus and with a lot of confusion, with a lot of adversity, people blaming each other and people attacking each other and not knowing who to trust. So then this practice can help us to try not to give way to anger, not to get into a desperate fighting mode and attacking others or getting into feelings of helplessness, but instead use all this hopelessness maybe that I feel, or maybe also this anger that I feel and desperation, make that into fuel for my own compassion, for the growth of my development, my ability to stay calm and to stay centered and to stay compassionate, even with those that do harm, even with the greatest evildoers. They're in a way, they're in the long term, they're in the most need of compassion. And really the wish that they would understand, that they would come to their senses and stop doing evil is really the biggest wish. And is not reached by fighting them.